What's up, everybody? It's Greg Birch with Delta Financial, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, I got the honor and pleasure of welcoming Mr. Kevin Vega. We can't hear it. So, Kevin, how you doing, brother?
Dude, I'm doing good. Getting over a little bit of sickness, but I'm always happy to be here and talk to people, man.
Yeah, man. It's always good to share. Come on, just have a conversation. And that's what we do. We usually come on, have a good conversation, usually try to teach you something through previous experiences or things that we've learned in the past.
Things that we're currently going through.
Yeah.
Everybody always faces challenges, and it's always good to have experiences put out there so you can learn from, what everybody else is doing and seeing.
Absolutely. Now, we do this value for you, the agents, for free, and any other entrepreneurs out there that are watching. And all I ask is that you share this content by word of mouth. You share it with other agents. You put it on your stories on your Instagrams or your Facebooks or whatever it is, and you help us to spread the message because we're on a mission. We want to help every single agent in the industry and also any other entrepreneur out there that can learn from these sales leadership concepts in order to make them better. We would also greatly appreciate it if you give us a review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review if you got any value from this, and we'll continue to bring the content, bring the heat.
Absolutely.
So
emotions make decisions, guys. So don't just set it and forget it. Make sure that you talk to them about what it is that you like specifically about this and any other content that you enjoy from us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kevin.
So Greg.
What do you want to talk about today?
On the drive over here, man, setting expectations was really running through my head, and it has been for the last couple of weeks. One thing that I learned from the Working Genius book, I love that freaking book, and the assessment, if you haven't taken it, the Working Genius is a fantastic assessment on seeing where you're at when you look at yourself and working on teams. On that assessment, it said that I'm a wonderer. Like, I like to contemplate about things, about life, and really just be existential, and that is so me. And on the drive here, I was in one of my existential modes on autopilot, thinking about expectation management and really how society has drifted apart from making sure that everybody was on the same level playing field, that if you worked hard at something, that you were going to see progress. And consistent progress over time meant that you were driving towards that success. But now with social media and especially Instagram and seeing the snapshots of everyone's success, everybody thinks that it's going to happen within the first 12 months. They think that they can just sprint and grind for 12 months and then they're all going to be millionaires.
Oh, bro. One of the things that I hate seeing, and I see it all the time on Instagram, are those friggin' faux coaches that are like, I can show you how to scale your business to $100,000 a month in 7 months. I'm promising you that they don't have anything, and that's a hoodwink. That's a scam. They're carpetbaggers. That's what, and what they're trying to sell you is just get you to pay for them because they've got really good skill set at selling some dream that is honestly, you're not going to make it to a millionaire in 7 months. I'm like, unless you've already become a millionaire. If you're Grant Cardone and you went to zero and you wanted to become a millionaire again, could Grant Cardone do it? Yeah, he could do it. But that's because he put in the work and he has learned so much.
Right.
And the time, and he has the experience, the knowledge, the skills that you just don't have, to be honest, and I don't have, right? So these people that are telling you this, they're not going to give you some fucking cheat code. It doesn't exist. They're not going to give you some easy path. All you're doing is you're paying money for their services, and you're paying for them that they've got this scam going. You're paying for their scam, and that shit annoys the hell out of me.
Oh, I know.
When I see that.
And all the DMs and Facebook messages that you get, hey, how you doing?
Hey, I can scale your Instagram to this much. Oh, yeah, I love your content. It's like, dude, you didn't even watch any of my content. You're not even following me, bro.
I know.
Oh, and by the way, you got 3,000 followers. Like, and you're going to scale mine to 100,000? Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the real reason why this applies into this industry itself is because the marketing for being an insurance agent now has always been, at least since, you know, the short time that I've been in, is, oh, you're worth 100% of what it is that you do. And it sends a false message that you're doing this on your own, but you're really not. Because when you join with an organization, other people's time, resources, and energy have already been spent, many man hours, to build something that you're coming into. Do you deserve 100% of their effort as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a tough conversation to have, but it's like it's a reality, like, punch in the face for people when you tell them that. They're like, wait, what? Like, yeah, man. Like, look at the technology that we're talking on over Zoom. You have an iPhone right there. Do you deserve, you know, all the benefits that all the hard working people did to create that? I mean, you are benefiting it in a sort, but not like, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of different levels that you're going deep, Kevin. There's a lot of different levels you're talking about here, especially when it comes to expectation management. And ultimately, I think when you break this all down, it's about timing, right? So understanding that it's going to take time and that it may not happen in the time frame that you wanted, right? There's a quote, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's basically like everything's going to happen on God's time, right? Yeah. And the concept of time in and of itself is, when you really think about it, is pretty unique, because like with time, all things change, right? Emotions, feelings, situations, all kinds of stuff. So if you're currently in a bad state of mind, if you're watching this and you're having a bad day, or you had a bad month or a bad couple of months, like most of the year was bad for you, right? That doesn't mean the rest of your, just give it time. And that means over time, like all things pass, right? Just as in all things pass over time, then also the more and work that you put in over time, you're going to accomplish what is you set to accomplish. It may not be on the time frame that you're setting. And so coming in with the right expectation of not I'm going to be rich in 7 months, or I'm going to be rich in 1 year, or I'm going to have this multi-million-dollar producing agency right away. Yeah. You know, and looking at it from a standpoint of, I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. This is going to be my career. I want to master this, and it's going to take as much time as it's going to have to take. I'm just know what effort I'm going to be putting in over the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years. Now, this is also a double-edged sword, because entrepreneurship is not for everybody. No. It's just not, okay? I think anybody can sell an insurance policy. If you can read and you can write and you can speak, you can sell an insurance policy. There is nothing that is challenging or difficult about it. That's not the challenging part. The challenging part is having to do the same monotonous actions day in and day out, and kind of just get your teeth kicked in, get your ass kicked, wake up with anxiety, wondering, where am I going to get my commissions from today? Yeah. Waking up with that butthole puckered, right? And dealing with that and all the other stresses that come in with being an entrepreneur, and the fires you got to put out, and the challenges you have to overcome, and the obstacles that are set in your path, and like on and on and on and on. That is the difficult part. It's not the selling. Selling an insurance policy is the easiest thing in the world, actually. It's super easy. But being consistent with it, that's the challenging part. And that's what people get wrapped up in. That's what stops most agents, is when they have to face those challenges and live that lifestyle. And that's, I think, where entrepreneurship is not for everybody, right? That's where they have the challenges. So if you are doing this and you give it a good solid
12 months, man.
Yeah, a good solid 12 months. And you're not seeing any progress whatsoever, and you dread it, and you friggin' hate it, like you hate everything about it, it might not be for you, right? Like, I like getting my teeth kicked in. I'm kind of a masochist. Like, I like pain. I'm okay with putting myself in super challenging situations, because it's like an opportunity for me to grow and me to learn. I'm very much like,
He's not kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I like putting myself in like the worst possible challenging situations. To bring it super nerdy, I'm very much like Goku, Dragon Ball Z. Like he's my spirit animal for a cartoon. So I want like the biggest challenge ever. And then when a new challenge comes up and it's something that I've never done, I get excited. I'm like giddy, like, yeah, let's
Almost like he's over 9,000.
Yeah, I'm over power level 9,000. Yeah. Just to bring it, this real nerdy, right? So, that's what you have to do. And, if give it a year, and don't be like in a year I'm going to be rich. It's going to be like in a year I'm going to reassess, but I'm going to give it my all this year. Yeah. And if you reassess and you honestly look at it and you say, I don't enjoy any of this. Like, this has been the worst year of my life. Probably not being an entrepreneur is probably not for you. If you've had some success and you're like, you know what, this was challenging and difficult, but I learned, I grew, I got better, I did make some money, I can continue to duplicate this and I can continue to get better. Everything else aside, I'm still in. Like, you'll know intrinsically whether or not, this is for you or not. And so I do believe you're correct. The marketing for insurance agents is wildly off. It sets the wrong expectations. And that's, I think, why we have so many. Look at the ratios. There's over 3 million licensed producers across the United States. Less than 10% of them have any modicum of success. And I'm talking any. And in terms of like making a little bit of money, right?
5,000 a month, I think is the benchmark for that, right?
Yeah. and then less than 3 to 5% of those 3 million are actually doing well. Yeah. Making over 6 figures a year. Those are
terrible numbers.
Those are terrible numbers. That's terrible. And it's because people are sold a vision, sold a dream, sold that they can like work part-time and they don't have to do much work. And all they got to do is work a little bit and they're going to make an extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week. And it's not that simple.
It's not.
So
I had a conversation with an agent, somebody that was looking into Delta earlier. And it was an awesome conversation. And it goes back to kind of your mentality point. It's funny because this person was previously a firefighter. And when I was explaining this to him, he said, oh, well, yeah, I understand that. That makes sense to me. Because when you're a firefighter, and it goes for any kind of work that's like that, police, firefighter, it could be corrections or anything like that. Whenever you're brand new in there, what kind of shift do you think you're going to get? You think you're going to get the 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift? No, that's not the case. Yeah. And for firefighters specifically, it accomplishes 2 things. One, it allows the people with a little bit more seniority that's been doing that, that shift for a while to kind of take a knee a little bit and find a little bit more harmony in their work, right? And the other thing, the more important one, is that all of the stuff, all the shit that happens that they need to have experience in happens at night, happens during those hours. And it takes going through those things for you to actually build yourself. Same thing with soldiers, like how you and I can relate. Talking about the monotony of day-to-day things, being deployed is exactly that.
Yes.
Every single day, it's Groundhog Day.
Yeah. But there's magic in the monotonous. There's so much growth and momentum that's built when you're stuck in a situation that's very monotonous and you're doing the day-to-day stuff. Over that year that I was deployed in Iraq and 10 months almost into Afghanistan, it's almost like amplified time and experience because you're doing these things over and over and over and over, and you're gaining experience so much that when you come back, it's like you gained like 3 years worth of experience, even though you were there for 1 year. Because when you do something, there's just something to the discipline that you build, which also influences and increases your confidence, which then, as it builds over time, helps you to actually do better at the things you're doing, take more chances, take more risks, test and tweak things.
Because you're so focused on those things. You're hyper-focused. Yeah. So, like, going back to your butt puckering comment, like, when you're downrange, you have so many thoughts. Like, man, is this person that's selling me this, whatever it is, are they a source? Are they going to bring a bomb in? Are they going to be a suicide bomber? Like, there's always these things playing in the back of your head. So you're like so hyper focused. The closest thing I can relate it to is, that I used to race motorcycles on the track. Yeah. Whenever you're really getting into those turns at 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, you're so hyper focused on like what's in front of you that your peripherals, like, they completely go away and everything just comes in with so much detail. Yeah. But it's like a superpower, and I loved it.
Yeah, hyper focused.
Yeah.
So honestly, like, ultimately what we're saying here, just to kind of bring it all around and bring it close to home, is that if you are an insurance agent and you were sold some dream and you're like, man, I just got here and I just started insurance and I've been here for 5, 6, 7 months, whatever, and I'm not having the success, understand that you probably have the wrong expectations. You can do a reset. You can reframe your mind. Yeah. You can stop and almost start from scratch and say, you know what, I'm gonna go about this a different way. Because I think when you also set the right expectations, it changes the path forward that you're walking. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So think about it like this: like, there's entrepreneurship is like a path that you're walking, right? And everyone has to walk the path, no matter what industry and entrepreneurship you're on. The path never ends. Okay, just the further down the path you get, the cooler it is, the sweeter the fruit that grows from the trees, all that kind of stuff, right? All kinds of like mythical creatures come out, and unicorns are there, and before you know it, it's kind of awesome. But at the beginning of the path, it's like barren. The trees are all like dead. There's just weeds everywhere. The path is just disgusting gravel that you keep twisting your ankles on. It sucks, right? So now the problem is that people don't like the path. And then you have these idiots and these clowns on the side that are like, hey, you want to find a shortcut? And they're taking you out in the woods to die, just so you know. All right. You're going to be lost in the woods, just roaming around, not finding your way. Okay. That's probably you right now. You're probably lost in the woods because you had the wrong expectations. Get back on the path, refocus on staying on the path, and change your daily actions to continue down the path. It's going to be a little rocky. It's going to be hilly. It's going to suck a little bit. You're going to get tired. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be thirsty. You're going to go through some challenging times. But as the path gets further down the road, what happens? It starts to get paved. It's really nice. It's lush and green. Now you can just reach over and grab some succulent fruit off a tree and eat and enjoy the walk while you go. Now there's still going to be challenging times. There's still going to be challenges on the road, but you accomplish them easier, right? You get past them in a better way. Stop going out in the woods. Stop trying to find some shortcuts. Don't think that the path is going to wind around and you can just cut across the Candy Gorge or whatever it is on Candyland in order to get off the path and skip across. It doesn't exist, okay? The path is straightforward. There's no turns in it. There's no way to skip ahead. The only way to skip ahead is to have communication with somebody that's way, way, way up front, and they're years ahead of you on the path, and you somehow find a way through osmosis or the game of telephone. You look over and there's a little can on a string that's going all the way down the route, and you're like, oh wait, what's this? And you speak into it, and someone comes up and they're like, hey, watch out for this, that, and the other. Now you have knowledge about what's going to come up on the path, which is going to help you succeed faster. So somebody you're 1 year into your entrepreneurship journey, somebody that's 5 years in their entrepreneurship journey can level you up with a quick conversation. And in a few moments, within a couple hours, they can take you from year 1 to year 3 in experience, right? But it doesn't happen when you're brand new. That doesn't happen in your first 6 months. It really doesn't even happen in your first year. Yeah. It doesn't typically happen until you're a year 2 or more.
And it doesn't happen if you're on the shortcut away from the path.
Exactly. They're not going to look at you because they're going to be able to look at that idiot. Because you know why? They were there too.
Yeah.
They did the same thing too, more than likely, and then they got their head on straight and they got back on the path, and they're looking I can't really help them because it's a mindset thing. The reason you're out in the woods is because you're trying to cheat code it. It's your mindset. And while you have that mindset, nothing that anyone says will help you. until you understand and you accept the fate that this is the path that you chose. This is the path that you're on, and you're going to have the proper expectations about the work ethic and everything that you have to do moving forward.
I can't tell you how many times we've had those conversations, like both in and out of the military with people, like, hey, you're heading for a cliff. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to josh you. I'm not trying to put you on the wrong path, but you are heading for a cliff, and I can't help you past a certain point. You're going too fast for yourself to slow down or anybody else to help you. And
it's unfortunate to see when it happens, but honestly, all this comes down is like impatience and ego and like humility. You know, you got to remove ego from business. Okay, you have to be willing to realize that you're not special. I'm not special. Kevin's not special. But the good thing is that we all have the same opportunity.
Yeah.
Since we're all not special, right? And then being humble, and really just as being humble is making sure that you are coachable and teachable, keeping an open mind, okay? Listening to the people that are where they're at and where you want to be, right? And listen to them, and they'll give you honest, candid feedback and guidance. And then when you get that guidance, follow it. Don't just be like, oh, okay, I'll think about it. I'll do it when I have time. When you have time will be never, okay? When it's convenient for you is basically never going to happen. You're never going to find the perfect time. You're never going to be convenient. It's going to always be challenging. You just need to nut up and get to work.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts to success.
Yeah.
You need to be able to go through the challenges and the crucibles in front of you. The people that aren't successful are the ones that tell you that you can go around those obstacles.
Yeah.
And you just can't.
All those people that are like trying to entice you to go out in the woods, all of those people are those Instagram influencers are like, oh, 100,000 in 7 months, 100,000 a month in 7 months. Yeah. And they're like, oh shit. It's like this little troll or goblin that crawls out of the forest. It's like, oh, follow me. I'll show you a secret path. And you're like, secret path? This path sucks. I want to get ahead. And you go over, you're like, show me a secret path. They're like, it'll be 10 shillings. And you're like, so should I pay? Because this goblin looks pretty scary. Should I pay this 10 shillings? Or should I walk? That path sucks, bro. I'm paying the 10 shillings. And then you pay this goblin 10 shillings. They lead you into an ambush. Next thing you know, all your money's gone and you're wandering around naked and alone in the forest, right?
Sounds like a Monty Python skit.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's entrepreneurship. And stop listening to those damn trolls, man. Just get to work. That's the best thing I tell you. Have the proper expectations, and I promise you, you know, with some laser focus, like Kevin was talking about, taking out the side, just block off the peripherals. And what that is it's the extraneous bullshit and circumstances that happen in your life that you have zero control over. You have zero control over. You'll be, I'm going to go do my dials today. I'm going to dial all day instead of 10, 12, 15 appointments. And then you wake up and someone calls you and you're like, dude, did you see what happened? And the next thing you know, you're like on a deep dive on TikTok, you know, and you're looking at your Reddits and you're just like, or your girlfriend broke up with you and you're just completely shattered. And you're like, well, I can't dial. Dude, I don't care who you are. Whatever you're going through, everyone's going through the same shit, okay? And there's people that have had success that have also, they had to go through the same shit, period. They just, and it's not that it doesn't hurt. You still have to just live. Your life is still ongoing, right?
It's like an emotional layaway. You just put that shit aside and deal with it later.
Put it aside. Be like, you know what? I'm going to worry about what I have to worry about, what I can control, because you can control 4 things. What you think, what you feel, what you say, and what you do. Those are the 4 things that you can control. And when you let somebody else, an outside circumstance, take control of your thoughts, feelings, and therefore actions, what happens? You've given up control of the 4 tiny little things that you can control, and then you try to control the outside circumstances, which you cannot control, and you're wasting time. You're literally just spinning tires in the mud. So, man, we went all over the place with this one.
Yeah.
This was a good one, though.
Dragon Ball Z to motorcycle racing,
to
goblins in the woods.
The goblins in the woods. Hey, That's a good friggin' analogy to entrepreneurship, and I came up with it on the fly.
On the fly.
All right. So share that with your friends. You're welcome. All right. Boom.
Mic drop.
But it's pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
It's what it's like. So, Kevin, thank you so much for jumping on and having a conversation with me.
Absolutely, man.
And with the agents. Hey, if you got anything, do me a favor. Share this content, all right? Tell them about the goblin in the woods story.
Yeah, have a laugh at our expense.
Yeah. And, hey, guys, this has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg.